Good morning, spiritual companions. We are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Continuing chapter 13, After the Passing Away. Page 536, Saturday, April 9th, 1887. The members of the moth were resting a little after their meal. Narendra and M sat under a tree in the garden to the west of the monastery. It was a solitary place, and no one else was present. Narendra was recounting to M his various experiences with Sri Ramakrishna. Narendra was about 24 years old, and M 32. M: You must remember vividly your first visit to him. Narendra: That day I sang 2 songs. Narendra sang them for M. Let us go back once more, O mind, to our own abode. Here in this foreign land of earth, why should we wander aimlessly in strangers' guise? These living beings all about, and the 5 elements, are strangers to you, every one. None is your own. Why do you forget yourself, in love with strangers, O my mind? Why do you so forget your own? Ascend the path of truth, O mind, unflagging climb, with love as the lamp to light your way. As your provisions for the journey, bring with you the virtues, heedfully concealed, for, like 2 highwaymen, greed and delusion lie in wait to seize your wealth, and keep beside you constantly as guards to shelter you from harm, tranquility and self-control. Companionship with holy men will be for you a welcome rest house by the road. There rest a while your weary limbs, asking your way. If ever you should be in doubt of him who watches there, should anything along the path arouse your fear, loudly invoke the name of the Lord, for he is ruler of that road, and even death must bow to him. And again, O Lord, must all my days be spent utterly in vain? Down the path of hope I gaze with longing, day and night. Thou art the Lord of all the worlds, and I but a beggar here. How can I ask of thee to come and dwell within my heart? My heart's humble cottage door is standing open wide, but once be gracious, Lord, and enter there and quench its thirst. M: What did he say after listening to your songs? Narendra: He went into samadhi. He said to Ram Babu, Who is this boy? How well he sings. He asked me to come again. M: Where did you see him next? Narendra: At Raj Mohan's house. The 3rd visit was at Dakshineswar again. During that visit, he went into samadhi and began to praise me as if I were God. He said to me, O Narayana, you have assumed this body for my sake, but please don't tell this to anybody else. M: What else did he say? Narendra: He said, You have assumed this body for my sake. I asked the Divine Mother, Mother, unless I enjoy the company of some genuine devotees, completely free from woman in gold, how shall I live on earth? Then he said to me, You came to me at night, woke me up and said, Here I am. But I did not know anything of this. I was sound asleep in our Calcutta house. M: In other words, you may both be present and absent at the same time. It is like God, who is both formless and endowed with form. Narendra: But you must not tell this to anyone else. At Kosapur, he transmitted his power to me. M: Didn't it happen when you used to meditate before a lighted fire under a tree at the Kasipur garden house? Narendra, yes. One day while meditating, I asked Kali to hold my hand. Kali said to me, when I touched your body, I felt something like an electric shock coming to my body. But you must not tell this to anybody here. Give me your promise. M. There is a special purpose in his transmission of power to you. He will accomplish much work through you. One day the Master wrote on a piece of paper, Naren will teach people. Narendra, but I said to him, I won't do any such thing. Thereupon he said, your very bones will do it. He has given me charge of Sarat. Sarat is now yearning for God. The Kundalini is awakened in him. The Master used to call me Narayana. M. Yes, I know he did. Narendra, at Kasipur he said, now the key is in my hands. He will give up his body when he knows who he is. M. Didn't he say it when you were in Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Narendra, yes. At the time it seemed to me I had no body. I felt only my face. I was studying law at home to prepare for the examinations. Suddenly I said to myself, what am I doing? M. Didn't it happen when the Master was at Kasipur? Narendra, yes, like an insane person, I ran out of our house. He asked me, what do you want? I replied, I want to remain immersed in Samadhi. He said, what a small mind you have. Go beyond Samadhi. Samadhi is a very trifling thing. M. Yes, he used to say that Vijnana is the stage after Jnana. It is like going up and down the stairs after reaching the roof. What other things did he say about you? Narendra, once I said to him, the forms of God and things like that, which you see in your visions, are all hallucinations. He had so much faith in my words that he went to the Divine Mother in the temple and told her what I had said to him. He asked her, are these hallucinations then? Afterwards he said to me, Mother told me that all these are real. Perhaps you remember that he said to me, when you sing, he who dwells here, touching his heart, like a snake, hisses as it were, and then, spreading his hood, quietly holds himself steady and listens to your music. He has no doubt said many things about me, but what have I realized? M. You have become the guardian of these young men. Yours is the entire responsibility. You have to bring up the brothers of the monastery. Narendra, whatever spiritual disciplines we are practicing here are in obedience to the Master's command. But it is strange that Ram Babu criticizes us for our spiritual practices. He says, we have seen him, Sri Ramakrishna. What have we need of any such practices? M. Let people act according to their faith. Narendra, but the Master asked us to practice sadhana. Narendra was again telling M about the Master's love for him. Narendra, how many times he prayed to the Divine Mother for my sake. After my father's death, when I had no food at home, and my mother and sisters and brothers were starving too, the Master prayed to the Divine Mother to give me money. M. Yes, I know. You once told me about it. Narendra, but I didn't get any money. The Master told me what the Divine Mother had said to him. He will get simple food and clothes. He loved me so much, but whenever an impure idea crept into my mind, he at once knew about it. While going around with Ananda, sometimes I found myself in the company of evil people. On those occasions, the master could not eat any food from my hands. He could raise his hand a little, but he could not bring it to his mouth. On one such occasion, while he was ill, he brought his hand very close to his mouth, but it did not go in. He said to me, "You are not yet ready." Now and then I feel great skepticism. At Baburam's house, it seemed to me that nothing existed, as if there were no such thing as God. M. The master used to say that he too had passed through that mood. Both M and Narendra remained silent. Then M said, "You are all indeed blessed. You think of the master day and night." Narendra, but how little. We don't yet feel like giving up the body because we haven't realized God. It was night. Niranjan had just returned from Puri. The members of the Math and M greeted him with great joy. Niranjan was telling them his experiences. He was then about 25 years old. The evening worship was over. Some of the brothers were meditating, but many of them assembled in the big hall around Niranjan. They were talking. After 9 o'clock, Sashi offered food to the deity. The members of the Math finished their supper, which consisted of homemade bread, some vegetables, and a little hard molasses. Saturday, May 7th, 1887. It was the full moon day. Narendra and M were seated on a couch in M's study in Calcutta. They were talking. Just before Narendra's arrival, M had been studying The Merchant of Venice, Comus, and Blackie's Self-Culture, which he taught at school. Narendra and the other brothers of the monastery were full of yearning for God realization. A fire of intense renunciation raged in their hearts. Narendra, I don't care for anything. You see, I am now talking with you, but I feel like getting up this minute and running away. Narendra sat in silence a few minutes. Then he said, I shall fast to death for the realization of God. M, that is good. One can do anything for God. Narendra, but suppose I cannot control my hunger. M, then eat something and begin over again. Narendra remained silent for a few minutes. Narendra, it seems there is no God. I pray so much, but there is no reply, none whatsoever. How many visions I have seen, how many mantras shining in letters of gold, how many visions of the goddess Kali, how many other divine forms, but still I have no peace. Will you kindly give me 6 paisa? Narendra asked for the money to pay his carriage hire to the Baranagar Math. Just then Sakkari arrived in a carriage. Of the same age as Narendra, he dearly loved the members of the monastery. He lived near the Math and worked in Calcutta. The carriage was his own. Narendra returned the money to M and said that he would go with Satkari in his carriage. He asked M to give them some refreshments. M accompanied the 2 friends to the Baranagar Math. He wanted to see how the brothers spent their time and practiced sadhana. He wanted to see how Sri Ramakrishna, the master, was reflected in the hearts of the disciples. Niranjan was not at the Math. He had gone home to visit his mother, the only relative he had in the world. Baburam, Sarat, and Kali had gone to Puri. They intended to spend a few days there. Narendra was in charge of the members of the monastery. Prasanna had been practicing austere sadhana for the past few days. Once Narendra had told him of his desire to fast to death for the realization of God. During Narendra's absence in Calcutta, Prasanna had left the monastery for an unknown destination. When Narendra heard about it, he said to the brothers, "Why did Raja allow him to go?" But Rakal had not been in the monastery at the time, having gone to the Dakshineswar temple for a stroll. "Narendra, just let Raja come back to the monastery. I shall scold him. Why did he allow Prasanna to go away?" To Harish, "I am sure you were lecturing him then, standing with your feet apart. Couldn't you prevent his going away?" Harish replied in a very low voice, "Brother Tarak asked him not to go, but still he went away." Footnote on names. Sarada Prasanna, one of the Master's young disciples, was addressed as Prasanna by Sri Ramakrishna and his disciples. Rakal was addressed as Raja by all the brothers. Rakal Raj, the king of the cowherd boys, is one of the names of Sri Krishna, and Sri Ramakrishna often spoke of Rakal as one of the intimate companions of Krishna. Narendra to M. You see what a lot of trouble I am in? Here too, I am involved in a world of Maya. Who knows where this boy has gone? End of today's reading.